It's time for your daily LSU baseball update with Musso at the box. Now, Matt Musso.
Off and running, another edition of Musso at the box. Welcome in and glad to have you along for the ride. LSU, fresh off a two-game sweep of North Dakota State in the midweek, now prepares for their final pre-conference weekend. They welcome in the North Alabama Lions for 3 games at the box. Weather will be impacting this weekend. Friday, you look all clear and good to go. Saturday, game 2, looks like it could be a complete washout. There are thunderstorms forecast all throughout the day in Baton Rouge. And then Sunday, much cooler, but partly cloudy day. We'll see how, if, and when LSU decides to move that schedule around. But that's really all we're going to say on the weather here on this show. We'll focus much more on who's available for LSU, a preview of the North Alabama Lions series history, players to watch, what we want to see from LSU, the free pass issue, all of those things go under the microscope here over the next 30 or so minutes. Presented by Gotlit Light Installers, Musso at the box, bringing you Gotlit's bringing you Musso at the box every day so far here during baseball season. Get subscribed if you have not already. Like, share, follow on social media. The handles are scrolling on the screen below you, as well as on your favorite podcast app. Go ahead and get subscribed. Just search Musso at the box. We're right there. You can take the show with us wherever you go. Let's dive in. LSU, they enter the final pre-conference weekend 13-1. They face North Alabama. This will be the first meeting all time between the Lions and the Tigers. North Alabama out of the Atlantic Sun. They were picked 10th out of 12 in 2025 in the Atlantic Sun. Did not land a single player on the preseason all-conference team. They do a few things well. They have played a couple of SEC teams already this season. Their first midweek game of the year was at Auburn. They lost that one 6-2. Their second midweek game of the season was at Tennessee. They lost that one 7-5. So they were much more competitive there over in Lindsey Nelson. We will see how they fare now against LSU. We'll go ahead and start, as always, with our pitching matchups for the weekend. And I expect it to, be run back the exact same for LSU. And why wouldn't it be? We've had a lot of conversation. Everybody wants to replace guys in the rotation. Really that started kind of since week 2. And I'm not there yet. I think the 2 candidates that everyone has talked about in doing so, Connor Ware, William Schmidt, they've both shown flaws so far. They've both pitched well, but there's been some things with both where it's like, okay, yeah, I mean, if you're gonna unseat somebody, you can't be doing those things. And a lot of it has been free passes. And then when you look at your rotation, your 3 has gotten you 5 or more innings 3 weeks in a row, each of them. Y'all, that plays. Like, that'll do it. You can talk about competition, and that's fine. And that's why, I do still have questions about this rotation. I'm just not there to replace because what you've seen hasn't warranted it. So they'll run it back once again, and barring some major collapse this weekend against North Alabama, this will be the rotation LSU runs out there opening weekend in SEC play against Missouri. So on Friday night, Cade Anderson will make appearance 4, start 4. He is 2-0 on the year with a 2.30 ERA, 15 2/3 innings. He has walked 6, struck out 26. The opponent is hitting just 192 off the Tiger sophomore lefty. What do we want to see from Cade Anderson? This is pretty simple for me. I want to see him get through the lineup a third time. I need to see Cade Anderson get through the lineup a third time. This is not a great offensive North Alabama team, as we will go through shortly. And Anderson in the last 2 weeks has gotten you into the 6th, but has not been able to get past 5 1/3. That normally triggers the lineup flipping a third time, things of that nature. I need to see him get through. Why? Because this LSU team is really deep. On the mound, at the plate, like we know that. They're really deep. But you are still searching for a couple more guys in your bullpen that you feel confident in that you can go to consistently, and they will give you the best outing every time. That they will perform. They will deliver. You're still searching for a few, and you still have not seen Gavin Gidger on the mound. And per Jay Johnson after the game on Wednesday night, you will not see him this weekend either, as they continue to help him work back from that middle of the body injury. So if LSU had their 8, 10 guys in the bullpen already, I'd be okay with Anderson giving you 5. But because you don't, because you're only sitting there really at 5, maybe 6 guys, I need to see him go through the lineup a third time because I need to see that he is capable of doing that. So that is the one thing. Everything else by Anderson, I think, has been doing. I think he's held his stuff pretty well. I mean, the efficiency has been there at times. He's shown great fight on the mound. He's shown to really make a big pitch when he needs to more often than not. I need to see him get through the lineup a third time. Have to. For North Alabama on Friday night, that will be, fifth-year senior righty Bryson Parrish. Parrish will make his 4th appearance, 4th start. He is 0-3 on the year with an ERA of 5.82, 17 innings pitched. He has walked 8 and struck out 10. The opponent is hitting .246 off of Parrish. That's going to be the highest stat line you see from a Lions starter this weekend. When you look at it, I mean, the walk number obviously jumps out. It's not overpowering stuff. He's a big, imposing presence, but it's not overpowering. Just the 10 strikeouts. This is a guy that LSU should be able to go after and get after pretty good, especially the way the offense is performing now. What you want to wait and see is, is it kind of that junk ball? And if he has his stuff, can it keep LSU off balance? But what really concerns me for him is that walk total being so similar to the strikeout total. So I think LSU should have plenty of success against Bryson Parrish. When you go to Saturday for LSU, it'll be junior righty Anthony Ianson. 3rd appearance, 3rd start, 2-0, 3.18 ERA, 17 innings pitched, walked just 3, has struck out 20. The opponent hits .222 off of Ianson. What do you want to see from Ianson, Musso? Well, same thing I wanted to see from Ianson really all year. He gets stronger as the game goes on, and that's a great quality to have as a starting pitcher. That is the quality you want to have as a starting pitcher. He's gotten you through 6 innings the last 2 times out, and we all remember the Nebraska game where he gave up 5 through the first 3, and then ultimately gets you through 6 and holds it at 5. He gets better as the game goes on, and that's awesome. But I need to see it a little earlier. In his first 2 starts, it wasn't necessarily the run total. It was the pitch count that hurt him. And he had to settle in and really hit his stride, the middle innings, to get you deep, and he did both times. Against Nebraska, it was the runs. The pitch count was low. He was just getting hit. He wasn't really fooling anybody. But he finally figured it out, settled in, and went. But I want to see the complete outing from him, where he starts fast and then continues to get stronger as the game goes along. I'm curious if Anthony Ianson can get you 7 this go-round if that happens. So I expect him to be more crisp this time out. And I'm excited to see what he has in store for LSU here in start number 4. Excuse me. For the Lions, should be freshman lefty Trip Patterson on Saturday. Patterson would be start 4, appearance 4, 1-1 with a 1.37 ERA, 19 and a third innings pitched, just 5 walks, 11 strikeouts. The opponent hitting just 157. He's been really, really solid. Could they potentially move him up in the rotation? Maybe. We'll see. He's been really, really good. He's got a complete game on the season. He's coming off of an 8-inning performance in his last appearance against UAB, where he only surrendered 2 hits. It, like kind of everybody on this North Alabama staff, it's just not overpowering stuff. But for a freshman, he seems to have handled the moments really well. This will obviously be the biggest test for him, pitching at the box on either, we'll see, because Saturday the washout potentially. But in one of those days, that could be something to definitely keep an eye on with Patterson. But the numbers have been really, really good and really impressive for a freshman. LSU Sunday. Well, we know Chase Shores. Start 4, appearance 4, 3-0, ERA of 3 even, 15 innings, 5 walks, 18 punch-outs, 241 opposing batting average against. What we want to see from Chase Shores. More crisp, better command this week. And let's see, Shores in his first, hold on one second. I'm going to get his pitch counts. Pardon me, I should have pulled this up before. I didn't. Bear with me. We're almost there. Shores in his first 3 starts, the pitch count has gone 67, 84, 89. Are we looking at 95 to 100 this weekend for Chase Shores? I think that would be phenomenal. Now, again, you want to see a little bit more crisp command than he's had the last 2 weeks, but specifically a week ago against against Sam Houston State. And then can he take the next step from a pitch count perspective? The stuff's been plenty good. The velocity is held excellent after really the first week. And look, he's been awesome. And we talked about this with him. It's going to be gradual. There was only 18 and 2/3 innings or 18 and a third innings coming into the season in his college career. It was going to take some time. He's been very, very good so far. So those are the things. A little bit more crisp with the command and pitch count. Can he get to 95, 100 here for LSU and get you into the 6th inning for the first time this season? That's what I want to see from Chase Shores. For North Alabama, in game number 3, it should be senior righty Anthony Pinchton. He will make appearance 4, start 3, 1-1 on the season with a 2.77 ERA, 13 innings pitched. He has walked 4 and struck out 9. The opponent is hitting just 200 off of Pinchton. In his last start out against UAB, went 6 innings, gave up 4 earned. So we'll see. Again, not an overpowering guy, just 9 strikeouts in 13 innings. But definitely as illustrated better command than some of the others that we've talked about here in this rotation for the Lions, talking about Bryson Parrish mainly. So those are your starting pitching matchups and what we want to see from the LSU guys as they make their 4th starts of the year. Gauntlet light installers. Have to remind you about Gauntlet light installers. Commercial or residential, they serve both. It's not just the Christmas lights anymore that you've heard us talk about so much throughout over the course of our many other platforms over the years, but it is still the great customer service. It is still the great relationship building that Derek and his team provide. I tell you, when you work with them, you will not want to work with anyone else because anyone can come install lights at your house. Derek and his team want to make you a customer for life. They want to get to know you, and they do that very, very well. And it will be evident from the first meeting. When you call to get the quote, you will feel that at Gauntlet Lights. Permanent landscape lighting has been added, backyard, front yard, or at your business, doesn't matter. You have an event coming up, private event, you need some temporary outdoor lighting, Got Lit Lights has you covered there as well. Cut to fit, no loose lights, meet your design needs, anything you can dream of. Install, maintain, store, Got Lit Lights, gotlitlights.com. Everything looks better when it's lit. All right, we'll dive into a couple key players here for North Alabama, and then we'll get into what else we want to see from LSU this weekend. We'll start offensively. Mentioned earlier, not a great offensive team. North Alabama comes in hitting .211. They have scored 31 runs in 11 games, hit just 5 home runs. They have punched out 106 times on the year. Jonathan Lane is the leading hitter, .292. Of guys who have started all 11 games, played and started all 11 games, there is not a 300 hitter on the team. There are a few, but for the guys who have started all 11, not one of them. Lane is your leading hitter there at .292. He's a guy, I mean, he's going to hit near the top of the order, hasn't driven in a guy, hasn't hit a home run, all those things. But the leading hitter on the team. Matthew Delgado is right there at 286 to go along with Petey Kraska, which I just kind of love his name, so I just wanted to mention his name. Guys who are hot as of late, that's going to be Alex Wilson. Wilson has started the last 6 games for this team, and he is hitting 300 for North Alabama and is tied for the team lead with 5 RBI. So, look, y'all, it's a lineup that's seen a lot of guys in and out of it early in the season, as you might expect, with them hitting .211. This is very similar to what you see from North Dakota State coming in. So how does LSU attack them? It's very simple. Throw strikes. And this is where we get into our free passes. Because the concern there continues to grow. And I'm going to tell you right now, if LSU can't find some semblance of what they had through the first 8 games of the season, when it comes to the walk and hit batter and free pass department, that will go into SEC play as my chief concern for this team. Because they are far too talented, they have too good of stuff, and they have too many arms on this team for that to be a problem. You have got to figure out who is going to be the ones to really throw the ball over the plate. And I don't think you're quite there yet totally. That factors into you still wanting to look and find a couple more guys as you enter, the back half, the middle and back half of the season in your bullpen and whatnot, because it hasn't just been lower tier arms. We talked about this, after the game Wednesday night. William Schmidt issued 5 free passes to North Dakota State. Connor Ware was issuing free passes. Those are 2 guys that you really expect to count on down the stretch in the middle part of this season. That has to improve. In LSU's last 5 games, they have issued 43 total free passes, 32 walks, and they've hit 11 batters. You have nearly doubled your walk total from the first 8 games in the last 5. That's unacceptable, plain and simple, and has to improve immediately, because this is your last test before conference play starts. And you're starting with Missouri, and I get it. Missouri is not good. And you could not ask for a better opener than that in conference play. But that series, because Missouri is what they are, takes on a lot of importance. And if LSU plays their game and throws strikes, they should win that one. They should win this one. They'll have a chance to win them all. But you saw it really rear its ugly head against Sam Houston State when you walked 10 and allowed them to hang around and get back into that game via free passes. And then obviously what happened Tuesday night against North Dakota State. It's the only reason that game was even competitive. Now, you pitched around it well on Wednesday because LSU issued 11 free passes Wednesday. But when the competition ratchets up, if you do that, you're not going to pitch around it very much. That has to improve immediately. And they're capable of it. That's why I'm giving them this weekend. Because we still have a larger sample size of them being really good at throwing strikes, having great command, and not issuing the free passes than we do of them being poor. The problem is, in that small sample size, the last 5 games, they've been really poor. And the concern there grows. This team hits 211. You want them to swing the bat. Don't give them things for free. On the mound for North Alabama, they're actually pretty darn good. This is a North Alabama team that comes in with a team ERA of 3.91. 3.91 on the season. Again, they're not overpowering. They've only struck out 69 in 94 innings, but the opponent is hitting just 211. So while they're not overpowering, that tells you they've got some pretty good command and they've got some pretty good secondary stuff that keeps teams off balance. And that's interesting because LSU, y'all, the last 5 or so games has definitely seen an uptick in stuff. Really, the last 6 games, going back to Dallas Baptist, you've seen an uptick in stuff. Now that's going to come back down here in this series. So that's a matchup to kind of watch. Can North Alabama stifle, to an extent, a really hot LSU offense by just kind of slow, painful death with the off-speed stuff that I'm expecting to see here? But one guy to absolutely keep an eye on, who really seems to be their horse out of the bullpen, is senior righty Dylan Morrill. Morrill leads the team with 4 appearances, 13 innings, a 1.38 ERA. The walk number for him, high, but the strikeout number is better than 1 per inning. So that's really good, and the opponent's hitting just 0.95 off of him. If he's throwing strikes, he's deadly. That is the guy to really circle, and if there is an opportunity for North Alabama to steal a game this weekend and he's available, they are going to him. He did throw 72 pitches in their midweek game on Tuesday, but he also punched out 6 in that outing against Belmont. So he might not be available on Friday, but come Saturday, Sunday, game 2, game 3, Dylan Morrill will be available and is their horse out of the pen. Gavin Oswald is the other guy who has 4 appearances. He's more towards the back end of the pen. You're going to see it more 1-inning matchup type deal for him. He's a junior lefty, big frame, 6'6", hasn't given up a run all year in those 3 innings, though. So that's another guy to really keep an eye on. The bullpen has performed quite nicely for this team. Quite nicely for this team. There are 3 guys in the pen with 2 or more appearances with an ERA of 0. So this is a crafty staff. It's a crafty staff. And because you've seen that uptick in stuff the last 6 games, I mean, hell, even North Dakota State had kids coming out there throwing low 90s. So, and with good, hard breaking balls. I haven't watched North Alabama. This doesn't seem like that, just based off of their numbers. So definitely keep an eye there. On that matchup, excuse me. I kind of blanked there. Other things for LSU. Catching. I'm expecting to see a rotation. More importantly, I want to see if Cade Arambidi catches Anthony Ianson for a 4th time. Because that could end up being very telling going forward for LSU. If that's just the guy that Ianson is comfortable with, or if that's just when LSU has been able to get him in there. Aaron Beatty is what I mean, in there, the way the rotation fell. But that's been 3 weeks in a row that he has caught Anthony Ianson. So we will see in game number 2 if that's the case as well, or if Hernandez gets that nod. I fully expect Luis Hernandez, out there game number 1 for LSU. I expect him to continue to be your best option there because, just quite honestly, all of them have struggled behind the plate at times. Hernandez has just been your most consistent. And he's the best veteran bat you have at that spot too. I think he can give you the best combination that you're looking for back there. But we'll be keeping track of how many balls go to the backstop for sure. Because as we talked about Wednesday night, that's going to cost LSU at some point this season. 100%. It really already did against Omaha in the game that you lost. And when you start facing better competition, Arkansas, Tennessee, Texas, OU, State, it could really, really cost you. So that has to absolutely get better. Has to absolutely get better going forward. And I think once you settle in on your guy, who I believe Hernandez, I think you will find more consistency back there at the catcher spot. I don't know if it's ever going to be great this year. I don't think it will ever be great this year defensively because I just don't think you have a truly great defensive catcher currently on this team. Currently. They can certainly, Aaron Beatty can certainly grow into that. Currently, you don't have that guy on this team. All right. Trying to go through my notes here and think if there's anything else that I wanted to point out and say. We mentioned Guidry. He'll pitch when he pitches. Probably won't be this weekend. They want to take it slow. They want to do it right. All those things, which I fully understand. Jay Johnson did say they need him, and they do. They need him. Big time. They need him right now. You missed him for the first time last weekend, really, in the over in Frisco. So, we'll see how things go there. LSU North Alabama, 6:30 first pitch Friday night at the Box. We will have you covered throughout the weekend here on Musso at the Box. We will reference back everything that we talked about here in this preview and keep you up to date as LSU goes through their final pre-conference weekend of the season. After this weekend, y'all, the season is a quarter of the way finished, 25% done after this weekend, which is crazy to think about. It's been a fun ride so far, and we're hopeful for a lot more fun on the back half, the middle and back half of this season as the Tigers look to reach all their lofty goals and lofty expectations. That's going to wrap it up for today. Y'all smash the like button on your way out. Get subscribed if you have not already on YouTube and your favorite podcast app. Follow me on social media and be here next time for more. It's Musso at the Box presented by Got Lit Light Installers.